Hi, everybody. My name is John DePietro.
And I'm Bob Zagami with the Camper Report Show.
And on this Camp Report Show, we travel to Goshen, Indiana, to the Keystone headquarters to find out a brand new program that they've got going now called Camp Better.
Just keeps getting better and better. I'm going to be talking
The-
with Corey Rizicka from the Priority RV Network. And that's a group of dealers that go to work for the consumers, kind of like a mega dealer, but they own their own companies, but they're under the umbrella of Priority RV. We're going to find out all about them.
and all the news of the week. Bob, where do we get our news?
RV Business with Rick Kessler and Woodall's Campground Magazine with our good friend Ben Quiggle.
Those stories plus more, much more, not just more, much more coming up where?
On the Camper Report Show.
Stay with us, everybody. And welcome back to the Camp Report Show for our news segment. My name is John DePietro. His name is Bob Zagami, who's actually in Maine. I'm in Massachusetts. And wherever you are, this news is going to be of interest to you because all across America, improvements are being made at our national parks thanks to the Great American Outdoors Act. Bob, tell us how that's going to impact the average camper like you and me.
Well, they passed the act 2 or 3 years ago, and millions of dollars have been earmarked for the national park systems, which had not had any improvements in probably over 20 years.
Hmm.
And of course, the RVs have changed. They're bigger, they're wider, they got more slide outs, they need more electricity. Um, just a lot of changes there, and the government seeing the success of the RV industry, by the way, and the RV lobby and the caucuses down there that lobbied for this act to go through. It was one of the few bipartisan legislative actions that you
Yeah,
can get passed in
yeah,
Washington, D.C.
exactly.
these days because everybody likes to be outdoors. So they're going to make major improvements across the whole spectrum.
Okay, so they're making their improvements. And at the same time, what's happened is Tesla is talking more and more about their Cybertruck. And you know what? Tesla as a car has certainly caught on. Rivian has a truck as a truck has caught on, but Tesla's got this Cybertruck that's coming out now. And a company called Space Camper is putting together a camping version of the Cybertruck. It is really cool. We're going to have some pictures down below as well, but talk about that and the implications.
Well, it's not a version of the truck. What they're doing is they built a pop-up camper that goes into the wedge in the back of the truck. The truck has got a real strange design. They've had several companies provide prototypes and drawings and what have you, but this is the first company that has a working model. In fact, when it's in the truck, it's going to have an interior height of, I think it's 8 feet 2 inches,
Yeah.
and it's going to the truck is going to be another Tesla success, but they've just getting the first prototype off the ground right now. So it's going to probably be a while before they see it. But people are going to attach to it because whatever Elon Musk takes on, he's very successful. And just the very fact that it's unique design, it's like nothing you've ever seen in a pickup truck.
Yep.
So
And it's probably going to be very interesting because for 2 years now, we've been talking about RVs being electrified. Okay. And Winnebago's come out with two separate units, and the one is getting closer to production as we speak. However, the problem has always been not at the back end of the unit, but at the front end of the unit, in that the Ford chassis, the range isn't long enough. Tesla kind of has longer ranges, but they have a superior charging system. So that is going to make it much easier for people who want to have an electric vehicle to camp because of the fact that Tesla has that system that is superior to any of the other charging system used by other brands.
well, it's a valid point, and it's a lightweight camper that sits in the bed of the truck. So the truck isn't towing anything. So you're not bringing a lot of drag behind it. So I don't think it's going to have a lot of impact on the Tesla mileage. That's another big factor for incorporating into one unit.
Right. Well, it will certainly have a little bit of weight, but it
Yeah,
won't have any modification to the profile of the vehicle,
right.
which is
Yeah.
going to be very interesting. So that's the story with Tesla in camping. And, we have talked so often about the number of families, the percentage of families that camp with a pet. I had read anywhere from 45%. My campground operators have said maybe it's 50, 55%. But KOA says that 66% of their customers travel with a pet. And KOA has, you know what? They don't have a veterinary clinic at each campground, but they got the next closest thing. They've got these two programs called Just Answer Pets and Pet Premium. Two totally separate programs. Explain those to our camping friends.
I haven't really looked into that, but I just saw that article this morning. And the thing that's important there is a lot of campgrounds set up a little dog park or something just to accommodate the people, but the big dogs play with the small dogs, and things happen, and pets get sick. So that it's just another example of KOA taking the lead on and providing for those people who do go with pets, because almost every KOA has at least one dog park, and many of them have two based on the size. So having the availability of on-call vets and having people that can come over and help them, or that the travelers can go to the clinic and get special treatment because they are KOA campers. Actually, that's going to be another plus for them.
Yeah, what I ran into it is even greater than that, in that it's a service where you've got a 24-hour phone line that you can call to speak to a veterinarian, not to an assistant and not to a clerk that's answering the phone, but an actual veterinarian, and give them the symptoms of your pet. And many times the more prominent systems present themselves very clearly, and then they can tell the pet owner what to do. So if it's 1 o'clock in the morning and you're in the northern woods in Maine, get up and start driving around, but at least what you can do to hold the pet stable, and then in the morning seek care. Then the other program, which I thought was really interesting, we have insurance for everything. We have car insurance, we have house insurance, we have storm insurance, we have this, that. Now they have pet insurance called Pet Premiums, where depending upon the breed, there is an insurance policy that's available, but it will also tell you all of the other policies that are available with the deductibles and the co-pays. So you're never really out in the cold when it comes to getting that mystery bill. I mean, look, you've had that mystery bill with your dog.
Yeah. They're big bills. Yep.
And sometimes these pet bills can run into the thousands.
Well, the other way that can help is because lots of times when something does happen on your road, and a perfect example of it, you automatically go to an emergency veterinary hospital, and that's $500 before you walk in the door. But if you call this service, and they calm you down and say, that's okay, bring it to your regular vet tomorrow, or bring it to a vet tomorrow, that could be a big savings for you also.
As well as emotionally and financially.
Yep. I heard it. It's totally off topic, but it kind of relates to it. I heard a radio commercial the other day. You talk about the importance of pets. Have you heard the radio commercial where you can submit a DNA sample on your dog?
No.
And it will start to chase the genealogy of your dog. And it says something like, wouldn't you like to know the history of your dog, or the genealogy of your dog? So get carried away.
Give you the answer to that. The answer is no. And technically, there must be a market for it, because people whose kids are grown, their dogs are their new kids, and who knows? Spend some money on something. But
can't tell.
Those are the stories, plus the special dog DNA program that was brought up by Mr. Zagami. So that is the news, Bob. We want to thank you for your explanation of those topics, and let everybody know that this is what?
The Camper Report Show.
Stay with us, everybody. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Camper Report Show. My name is John DePietro, and you know, one of the things that I like best about doing the Camper Report Show is that you get to meet the nicest people in the camping community. And when I say nicest, one of the nicest that we've had the opportunity to meet is at the Keystone RV Company corporate headquarters in Goshen, Indiana, and her name is Christy Spencer. But more importantly, she is in charge of a great program that we're going to tell you all about, and it's called Camp Better. Christy, welcome to the Camp Report Show.
Thank you. Thank you for the compliment. You're a pretty nice guy, too.
Yes, you're right. She's reading the cue card over there that I wrote.
Exactly.
So basically what it boils down to is you guys have put together this program called Camp Better to basically spread the word of kindness and goodness and helping and caring within the RV community.
Yeah.
Now, Keystone has been around a long time. You have thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of units out there with the Keystone name. Millions, okay.
Mm-hmm.
How did this thing come out, this initiative to, number one, call it Camp Better, and what is it?
Build a movement.
Build a movement.
Yeah, that's what we're trying to do. So when we Zagami again giving me direction. So look, as a corporate citizen, we obviously are in the business of selling RVs. That doesn't change. We're going to make great RVs that help you camp better, by the way. But we wanted to show up in the RV world, nationwide, Canada, U.S.
The community,
The community, in a way that made it better, that makes it better, that celebrates who we are and what we do, and builds the type of community we want as we welcome lots and lots of new people to RVing for the first time.
And let's face it, since COVID, I think 40 or 50% of the new RVs that were sold to first-timers.
Yep.
And I think you'd agree, camping for the first time can be, they don't show that in the brochures. When you're trying to back up at night, when you're trying to hook up to power, when you don't know the difference between your freshwater hose and your blackwater hose and things like that. But Keystone people, you found, are a special group that will see that you might be having some difficulty and come over and say, hey, do you need a hand, right?
What we wanted to do is talk to our owners in a way that we anchored into. It's actually three things. It's kindness, which is helping each other out, like we're talking about, and RVers do that naturally, but we really want to give our owners the rally cry and the tools in some cases to be really, really helpful on the road and make that part of their daily lives. Building community is another big part of it too. I think a lot of us camp to make new friends and have new experiences, and the community's gotten so much bigger. Let's make sure we're really welcoming to everybody who comes in.
And there are people that are welcoming to others even when the others don't want to be welcomed.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, there's somebody new. Let's descend upon them. We got a new one here.
Right.
Okay, they got their brand new Cougar. They're backing it in for the first time, and all of a sudden that tree that wasn't there shows up.
Yeah, exactly.
And then there's family stress.
And there is family stress. And I think one of the beautiful things that's happening with camping is we see people who haven't traditionally camped, right? We see different, all kinds of different lifestyles and ethnic makeup. So it's, to be really, again, intentional about how we're welcoming folks into the community, I think is really, really, really important.
Okay. I threw you off track. The third one
is planet. Look, we camp because we like being outside, and we have an opportunity to do things while we're camping, again, on the daily to make, protect our environment, protect our planet. So we built this platform of kindness, community, planet. And then through our ambassadors, which we haven't talked about yet, through our ambassadors, dealers, and even our team members here at Keystone, we are looking for ways and developing programs to
give back,
do all of those things, those three things.
Yep. So in the group that you've assembled, your first class, if you will, your first class of ambassadors, are there any stories that you have of people who actually went out and did these things that you want them to do?
Yeah. So our 2022 class of brand ambassadors, we recruited specifically because they were good people doing good things. That's our number one criteria for ambassadors from here on out. So I can tell you, there's Brian and Tina Jones of Jones and To Go. Brian is one of those guys. First of all, he knows RVs inside and out, and he looks for opportunities to tackle tough things when he's in the campground. And a letter came into our president, Jeff Reynolds, who you're talking to in this podcast, and a letter came in from a man that Brian helped, and telling Jeff how thankful he was that our ambassador took the time to tackle, it was an electrical problem, tackle that. So that's been
And you know what? There's no dollars exchanged with that. But that had to make, we'll ask Jeff, because he's sitting right here at one time or another, and ask him about that and say, how does that make you feel?
Yeah, it's really special. We have Bob and Grace, 2 veterans on the move. Every place they go now, they volunteered a soup kitchen. They drove down to Fort Myers to help with the hurricane relief. We partner with Keep Nature Wild, and we do garbage pickups all day, every day that we're out camping. So we're showing up in the world in meaningful ways. In fact, these T-shirts that we got for you and Zagami, we just sent boxes of T-shirts out to all of our ambassadors. I think we sent 50 or 60 T-shirts to all of our ambassadors, with the instruction to find someone who's doing something good.
You should, we should put all those T-shirts on that you send out, and then they say if they're pre-worn by us, the value of them goes, goes so much higher, right through the roof. So Camp Better is a program. Anywhere online that people can find out about Camp Better, and
yeah, for sure. So if you go to our website, you'll read about it on the homepage, but there's also a section called Keystone Insider where you can learn about our ambassadors and what each one of those individuals is doing as a part of the Camp Better initiative.
So let me ask you this, and we're changing the rules as we go here. If there are campers out there, Keystone owners, that are doing something really cool to for their community, can they let you know about it? And maybe they can nominate themselves to be an ambassador?
I'm so glad you did that. So absolutely, show us what you do, because it's important. As we're walking the walk, we inspire other people to walk the walk. So if you are on Instagram or Facebook or TikTok, hashtag Keystone RV and Keystone RV, and then also hashtag Camp Better. We'll see that post and we'll absolutely share it.
There we go.
That's a great idea. Thank you.
So, Christy, thank you so much for spending this time with us for the Camper Report Show. We've been talking with Director of Marketing at Keystone RV, Christy Spencer. We'll be back with more on the Camper Report Show right after this.
All right, welcome back, everybody, to the Camper Report Show, and my special guest today is Corey Rizeka, and Corey's with the Priority RV Network. And Corey, I'm going to let you tell them about the network and why it's important to consumers.
Well, first, Bob, it's always great to be with you. Any RV function across America is always great to be with you. Back about 1996, we saw the need, a group of dealers saw a need that when consumers buy an RV, let's say they're going to buy one in the Boston area or down Florida, and they're traveling around the country, if they have a trip-ending problem, what do? You're maybe 500 miles, 1,000 miles away from home, and here you got an air conditioner that's not working, and it's 90 degrees outside, or you got a furnace that's not working, and it's 10, 15 degrees outside, or you got a major refrigeration issue or LP leak. What do? So a group of dealers came together in 1996, about 15 or 20 of them, and they called themselves Redex. And we formed a group. I joined in 1998. And we've been signing up independent dealers throughout America. And about 2005, we became a cooperative, and we changed our name to the Priority RV Network. today we have a record number of independent dealers, 146 dealerships throughout about 41, 42 states throughout the lower 48. And what's really nice about it is if you buy a new or used RV from a Priority RV network and you're traveling more than 100 miles away from your home, you have a trip ending problem. It's not the television set as much as I know, Bob, you love to watch the Celtics and the Patriots and the Red Sox on television. That's not a trip ending problem. But if you have a trip ending problem that's going to force you pretty much to go to a hotel, all you have to do is call back to your home dealer. Home dealer calls the closest Priority dealer, and they make arrangements to get you in. It's kind of like an urgent care for medicine. They make arrangements to get you in right away for a diagnosis to see what the issue is. And then if there has to be any parts ordered, dealer might already have the parts in their parts department, but we want to get that problem fixed ASAP and get the customer back out on the road. And I've heard so many great testimonials over the years from customers who were amazed. They got in, they got fixed, they got out. And then I hear horror stories from RVers who bought at our competitors that they saved up their whole lifetime for retirement. They bought a mini home. Their first trip was to Alaska, and halfway there they broke down and they had to go back home because they couldn't find anybody to fix the RV. So this is one of the great reasons why we sell so many RVs a year, is that if I live in Texas and I'm going to go traveling around the U.S., I can get frontline emergency service at a dealership if I have a trip ending or safety issue problem.
Well, it's kind of like an insurance policy that doesn't cost you anything because it comes with the dealers themselves, right?
Right. Well, somebody's got to pay for the diagnosis.
True.
So either hopefully they bought a service contract, so the dealer can put it right in the service contract, or the customer's going to have to pay it, but they're going to get in right away. And then if they bought a service contract, an extended warranty, they could put everything, the parts on there and everything. And that is really great. And, we find, it's interesting, Bob, when you take a look at our list of dealers in the Priority RV network, it's like a who's who in the RV industry. We have several dealers who have been inducted into the RV Hall of Fame in Elkhart. We have many dealers who have been the RVDA Quality Dealer of the Year, including Robert Christen Company down in Arizona. They were the first ones, like back about 1975, 76.
Yeah.
They were the first dealer, I guess the one that everybody wanted to be like. And the late Paul Skogable was one of our founding fathers of the RV network.
I remember Paul.
But you take a look, we have RVDA Dealer Quality Dealers of the Year. If you go to the RV Business Top 50 dinner at RVDA every November, every year, we've got somewhere between 12 and 15 dealers out of the 50 that are in the Priority RV network. We have members who've won the James Summers Award for the contributions to the RVDA and the RV industry. We have several members who've been RVDA Chairman of the Year.
Right.
We have a lot of dealers.
That volunteer work is some of the most important stuff that dealers do, because if you're in an industry, you should be supporting the industry.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we have great quality dealers who believe that when they sell a new or used RV to their customer, they want to make certain wherever they're at around the United States, as long as the customer's 100 miles or more away from home, they're going to be taken care of. Because, Bob, you know, if the customer has a bad experience, they're probably going to get out of the RV lifestyle. And we don't want that. In fact, Bob, you know, what's interesting is I visit our dealers, about 30 to 50% of the telephone calls that our service departments get at our dealerships are from customers who didn't buy their RV from that dealership. So they bought somewhere else, or they bought from a third party. You know, they're going down the highway and they see fifth wheel for sale or motorhome for sale in somebody's front yard. The problem is when they buy it, where are they going to get it serviced? So it's interesting how many of our dealers get calls from people who bought elsewhere in the area that they can't get service. And the number one requirement to be in the Priority RV network is service. And all of our dealers have signed agreements that when your customer is more than 100 miles away from home and they're in my area, I'm going to take care of them. At the same time, when my customer's 100 miles or more away from home and they're in your area, you're going to take care of them.
Well, you know, you mentioned
because
something.
we want a good experience, because as you know, Bob, you're gonna have issues with an RV.
Right.
I mean, it's a house on wheels going down the highway, and something may go wrong with the roof air conditioner, the furnace, the plumbing, the LP. So we want to be there for the customer and take care of them.
Well, you mentioned the new buyers, Corey, and you know we went through this last 2 or 3 years with just a total change in the RV industry with respect to 50% of these people the new buyers had never been in an RV before. They don't know what you and I know from working in the industry 20, right. 30, 40 years. They don't know what to do. So the Priority RV dealer becomes a very nice safe haven for them. With
absolutely, Bob,
you know, giving them the confidence that they will be taken care of. Because as we've said, if we don't take care of the new buyers, they're not going to buy a second RV.
Yep.
And you know that wasn't the case years ago. People were very tolerant; they loved the lifestyle. But the new generation of digital natives, they grew up with computers, they grew up with smartphones, they grew up with things that work every day. And to your point, we make handmade products. They don't always work the way that you want. So the most important thing about buying an RV is just what you said, the service and support after the sale. It's not the RV.
Right.
So what other benefits do dealers have when people are looking at buying RV in the Priority RV network?
Well, we have a website for our customers. We're a one-stop shop. We can sell them 24/7 road care through Brown & Brown. We can also offer them specialized RV insurance, which is really important, through Brown & Brown. It's more specialized to the RVer than what you can get at an Allstate or a State Farm office. So besides great service when they're home, emergency service when they're on the road, we can offer them great F&I products, roadside assistance, RV insurance. And we have, when you take a look again at our list of dealers, how many years our dealers have been in business. It's just, we're on third generation owners.
Yep.
Verrinks, one of our dealers in Michigan, they're going in the RV Hall of Fame. Tim is coming up here in another, I guess, a week or so. So we offer the RVer the ultimate experience. We're going to take care of them. We're going to offer them the products that they need besides the RVs, great service, and a reputation of dealerships that I put up our dealers against anybody.
Yep, that's great. Our guest this morning is Corey Ruzicka with Priority RV Network, and many of your dealers are, in fact, known to our fans, and we appreciate that. Any closing statements, Corey, that you want to make on behalf of the RV Network and the great set of dealers that you work with?
No, we're having a great year. We have a record number of locations, and we're going to be probably bringing out a couple more here before the end of the year. I'd like to hit 150 because we've never been at 150, and we're just going to continue to offer superior service. Our branding statement, Bob, is superior value, nationwide service.
You know,
And
when you talk about, you said 146 dealers going to 150. Is that rooftops or is that individual dealers?
rooftops.
It's
Yeah,
rooftops
locations.
for all of your dealers, you know,
Right.
which is
Right.
significant. You know,
we want to offer the RVer the ultimate experience in RV, and we're quite confident that if they buy from one of our dealers, they're not going to leave the RV industry because they're going to get taken care of at home.
Yep.
With their service and parts departments, and when they're traveling around the United States, they're going to get help in case they have a trip-ending emergency. And I'm quite confident that we could offer them the ultimate in the RV lifestyle.
Corey, thanks very much for joining us this morning.
Thank you. And hey, Bob, thank you for everything you do for our industry. You're the best.
Thank you, sir. Talk to you later.
Thank you, Bob. Okay, bye-bye now.